of the franchise league. Let's start with the elephant in the room. You picked up Bartolo Colon today? Are you serious? Are you trying to lose? That's my question. Are you trying to lose?
Well, apparently the moves I'm making seem to be successful so far for Team V. What's wrong with Bartolo Colon?
He's had 9 starts and 7 of them have been absolutely horrific.
They have been.
So
he's pitching against one of the most horrific offenses in baseball, though.
what, Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Yeah. I knew he'd say that, but
Well, if you knew I'd say that, then why'd you bring it up? I thought you were going to bring up the basketball jersey.
oh, the basketball jersey.
I thought that was the elephant in the room.
Oh, I don't even recognize that. What is that?
Of course you wouldn't, because you're apparently he's a LeBron. He's a LeBron lover. I'm sorry. He's a lover of the era where you don't have to worry about playing defense anymore.
Ah, okay. I don't think that's true at all. But anyway,
Let's get to baseball.
Baseball. The first matchup we're going to talk about, as always, Bear Bashers with the 10-6 win over Pin Bed Cushion. What do you think about that?
Pin bed cushion.
I'm just coming up with 3 words because I can never remember what the team's called.
Would this be because you're talking about Oak Knoll Lane?
Yeah, that.
Or Pine Tree Lane,
Right.
as it is referred to?
Yeah.
Again, yeah, you won 10-6. Not that impressed when you beat someone who hit 224 against you.
Yep, 224 batting average.
He got 4 points of his 6 from pitching.
Yes,
And
that is correct.
You know, is something again that I've said that you need to address, but you know, you're holding out. I would like to bring up one guy for your team, and that would be, you know, this old guy who is a former stud and is no longer a stud anymore because he's in his 30s, which automatically means he sucks in our league.
Yes.
Matt Kemp. 7 runs, 7 singles, 4 doubles, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, 464 batting average.
Yeah.
And who did you give up for him again?
Alex Bregman.
Who's that?
Well, we can talk about him a little bit later on if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, for
But yes, please go talk about yourself.
no, Votto's staying hot for Pine Tree.
That's why I'm trying to get him. Yes.
Yeah, yes. But
I am gonna get him.
But I feel like maybe one of the most overhyped players going into this season, fantasy-wise, might be Trey Turner. What do you think about that?
Well, since we're not allowed to talk about what's currently going on, I'll agree with you and talk about the past and say, yes, he hasn't done anything, but he killed me last night.
Oh, wow.
Killed me.
I purposely don't look at the days of now. You know what I mean? I'm just looking at the last week. But
So you do like to live in the past.
Yeah.
Oakland A's.
but all he did was steal bases last week. But he hit like one. He literally hit like 118 and had 3 steals.
I would say that it seems like what seemed like early development and a great run for his core group of young guys, it seems like they've all kind of taken a step back this year, and it could be a long season for...
We'll see. All right. Next matchup, with the 10-5 win over the Row Murderers.
It was actually a very close matchup.
Yes, 8 close categories I counted. 8. That's all.
I'm impressed you can count that high.
Yeah.
You probably had help because you do have a teacher for a wife. Yes. 2 studs, because they're the only 2 studs I have that are doing anything. Altuve, 5 runs, 4 singles, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 2 homers, 6 RBI, and he hit 435 for me. And, I don't know if you heard this guy or not, Mike Trout, 6 runs, 2 singles, a double, 3 homers, 8 RBIs, and as he predicted, 2 more stolen bases. He is on his way to 40.
Yeah.
Don't want to jinx it. He said he was going to steal 40.
You did.
I would like to point out for Murderers Row, he had 7 guys that had 3 RBI or more.
Yes, he had a very balanced attack. Puig and Jay Bruce were the only non-performers for his team if you actually look at the breakdown. He had a really good offensive week. One guy you're not giving yourself credit for because you say you only have 2 studs. Murphy hit 500 for the week, man. He had 8 hits.
Woo!
3 homers and 3 RBIs.
8 hits, so he was 8 for 16.
8 for 16 with walks. That's pretty good.
I like counting stats.
Okay, so you heard it here first. This guy does not like Daniel Murphy.
I don't. He's available.
Oh my gosh.
He is available.
Go send him trade offers now.
I really want Michael Conforto back. I
Oh,
really
man,
want him
he's
back.
going off.
You think? Yeah, he sucks though. Good call, group text. Good call. Anyways, the other thing I'm going to say about this matchup is once again, tooting my own horn. Balanced. 1-5 hitting categories, 5 pitching categories. You have to beat me on both sides of the 9x9 league. You can't just come in and say, I'm going to win all the hitting categories and take my chances on pitching. It doesn't work that way.
Right. That
is a precursor to my power rankings, by the way.
Oh, okay. But Murderers Row did have a pretty good week, though. I mean, despite the 10-5 win, I think you just outperformed.
I have it in my notes. Do you have the batting average down? The team batting average?
No.
It was like 280, I think.
Yeah. You were like at 301 and he was at 287, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Okay, the next matchup, Ben's Champions with the 10-6 win over Alaska Glaciers.
That glacier is melting fast.
It's kind of fading, yeah. This looks like what you'd expect from Ben's offense going into the season. Like, this was the first week where if you actually looked at the matchup totals, that's what I anticipated Ben's offense of doing. You know what I mean?
It's scary. I mean, when you have 20 hitters, it's scary if you actually have the right guys in.
Tom's offense was a tick below average. If you look, like he hit 259. I think he had like 9-ish home runs in that range. It wasn't anything special. Let's talk about his third base production. Rendon hit 133.
You're talking about Alaska Glaciers?
Alaska Glaciers, yeah. He hit 133. And Bregman hit 235 for the week. So
great trade.
Well, again, it's early results. You have to.
You talking about the season or for his career?
Well,
because you gave away a guy that everybody keeps talking about who's gonna have all these great stats, but still hasn't done it. Mm-hmm. Well, you are getting actual stats.
Yes, that is true.
Great stats. But he'd like to have Matt Kemp stats this week.
Yes, it would have been
for
different.
That week.
It would have been closer.
I will say this, looking at it, this was kind of the typical Ben's Champions performance that we've seen. He won 8 hitting categories, but only 2 pitching categories.
But that said, Ben's Champions pitching was not that bad for the week. If you looked it over, it wasn't.
No. But again, he lost saves 2-0.
Well,
2.
Right.
And he lost holds 1-0.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
I know it's only May. You're giving away points. Now, granted, it looks like the bottom part of the league is going to be bad, so you might be all right hovering in that 5 to 6 range.
Yeah.
But again, he thinks he's going to do this, snap my fingers, presto magic, and fix this. For Alaska Glaciers, I had Strasburg as his key performer, 14 strikeouts and 2 starts. And for Ben's Champions, Billy Hamilton, 4 stolen bases. If you notice, he has completed his power lineup, and now with the acquisition of Villar and Villar stealing bases, he has a stolen bases lineup he can play against you. He's versatile.
Yeah, that's true. Bautista continued to be unreal for the week. Did you see that?
Well,
he had a 526 batting average.
Isn't that the staple for Ben's Champion?
Yeah,
if a guy's bad and Ben's Champions picks him up.
Yeah, they get motivated for some reason. I don't know why.
He promises them something. I don't know.
And here's this. This was an interesting stat. Chris Bryant hit 333 with 3 home runs for the week, and I'm almost positive because you're in the text thread too, aren't you?
Unfortunately.
Wasn't it? Didn't he list Chris Bryant as a guy who was hitting 200 for some reason for the season? And I was like, what are you talking about? Did you see that?
No.
Yeah. Yes. Because he was basically talking about how his team's underperforming for the season, and he lumped Bryant into there, and Bryant's fine. He's hitting 300, so I don't know what he's talking about as far as Bryant as one of those guys that is not hitting.
Woe is me.
Yeah, I guess.
Woe is me with all my plethora of hitters.
But anyway, next matchup, Zips with the 9-6 win over 5 Swords. And this one I had 4 close categories that if Zips could have flipped, Zips could have won this big.
Right. I had 5 categories that basically could have gone either way, depending on how Sunday went. But yeah, I agree. It was a very close matchup, entertaining.
5 Swords had 6 multi-home run guys. So you would be surprised that he'd still lose 9-6 despite having that. And he hit 300 for the week, 5 Swords. So it was a good offensive week. Zips was just a little bit better all around.
Well, had a little bit of a controversy too. Zip seems to think that he had a pitcher pitch 9 innings, but the game went extra innings. So he still thinks he should have gotten a complete game for that because he pitched 9 innings.
Why?
That's what I say every time he says that. I said, but the game went extra innings. If you would have pitched in those extra innings, then you get a complete game. So his argument is, well, a guy gets a complete game if he only pitches 8 innings. If you're the away team and you're losing.
Yes, that's true. But the game wasn't completed. It's that simple. You know what I mean? The game wasn't completed. One guy pitched the whole game. It's that simple. Is there another guy that pitched in the game?
I try to explain it to him very simple. There is no definition of innings for a complete game.
No,
it's
just you can have a 5-inning range.
Correct.
Yeah, that
as some people were rooting for last night.
Yeah, begging for points. Begging for points.
That's how bad your pitching is when you're begging for rainouts as complete games.
Anyway.
Last matchup.
All right, I was just going to say Urias and Bundy were pretty bad for our lot last week. That's all.
That would be 5 swords.
Yes, 5 swords.
Yes, you're doing a horrible job with team names today.
Sorry. Horrible job with team names. JD Martinez had 4 home runs for Zips last year.
Yes, finally he's getting some offense.
Okay, last matchup. Globo Gym with the 9-7 win over Team Jobu. I mean, do we really even need to talk about this? Because it's just not fair. It's not fair that Team Jobu had to go up against the juggernaut that is Globo Gym with 11 guys who were hurt. You know what I mean? How could? Of course he lost. What could have he done with such injuries?
I mean, what do you expect from Globo Gym taking advantage of a guy who has guys that he can't put on the DL because of how many guys are hurt? And he used 13 starting pitchers in that matchup.
I didn't count that. Wow.
13. Great job.
Yeah. Now Globo did manage 7 wins for the week, despite a 4.80 ERA.
Well, yes, when you have 13 starting pitchers, that increases your chances.
Yeah.
I had the player of the week as player of the matchup as Jake Lamb.
Yeah.
7 runs, 2 singles, a double, 4 homers, 10 RBIs, and he hit 500 for Team Joe Bill.
Yeah, he did very well. Dickerson's really going off too. So.
Yes, as we get the very disgusting and perverted text messages from Team Joe Boo every time C. Dick does something or hits a dong.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. New material.
Joe Boo actually had 18 home runs for the week. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah. That's pretty good considering he had 11 guys hurt. Or in his own words, 14 or whatever it was. I don't even know what it's
Even though they have DTD, which means they could still technically play.
Yeah. So we are still at the same streaks. Bear Bashers 6-week.
Congratulations.
6 weeks in a row. That is the longest, and the longest losing streak is Murderers Row. Still hasn't won 7 weeks.
Interesting. Well, I also had something else for you.
Okay.
So I thought this was a very interesting week, and I don't know if it's because of injuries or as we keep talking about how bad pitching is. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you innings. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to play a game.
All right. I'm not good at these. I'm going to get them all wrong, but that's okay.
You have 5 categories: wins, losses, strikeouts, ERA, and WHIP. Okay.
Yeah.
You had one team who threw 84 innings and one team who threw 69 innings. Who won the most of those 5 pitching categories?
Because of the way it's worded, I'm going to go with the 69 inning team.
That is correct.
Yes.
The only thing that the 84 innings person won were wins and strikeouts.
Wait, that makes no sense. No, it doesn't make sense because the other guy's throwing 84 innings.
Right. So you got wins and strikeouts.
Okay.
Yes, because as I told you, you're not guaranteed a loss.
No.
The only thing you're guaranteed when you churn are strikeouts.
Right.
That's the only thing you're guaranteed, the counting stat. I'll give you another one. 88 innings to 68 innings.
Okay.
Who came out the winner in those 5 categories?
Because I think you're trying to prove a point. I'm going to go with the 68 innings.
That one actually was a push.
Oh, the push.
Yes.
Okay.
But once again, the 88 innings won wins and strikeouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one was 68 and 56, so I'm not really going to count that because I don't think 68 is a lot.
No.
How about 76 versus 50?
Oh, that's a big difference.
Can you guess which category is the team that threw 76 innings won?
I'm going to go with wins and strikeouts.
That would be correct.
Yes.
And our last
Yes.
one was a 66 and a 54. But again, I don't consider 66 to be a lot, so we don't count that. So what am I trying to say is, churners, just like I've been saying, yes, you have a chance to win wins. Yes, you have a chance to lose losses. The only thing you gain by churning is strikeouts. Build a credible staff. And again, you can't pick up, when we come to the playoffs, 13 starting pitchers. Now, I don't know how many of them, 13, how many he actually had or how many he actually picked up, but you're going to pick up 7 starting pitchers every playoff matchup. I mean, that's, to me, you're playing with fire.
Yeah, you are. Especially when you look at the free agent list.
Not me.
Oh, yeah, not you. Not you, of course not.
I only pick up one Bartolo Colon a week.
One Bartolo. Wow, I just couldn't believe it. Anyway, I only have one trade for this week.
Okay.
Michael Walcott to the Zips I wrote it backwards. It's Cesar Hernandez to Zips and Michael Walcott to Ben's Champions, correct?
No, that would be wrong.
Oh, really?
You got it right the first time.
I did have it right the first time?
Waka is on Zips.
Waka is on Zips now. Okay.
You're confused because Cesar Hernandez was actually just dropped.
Okay, that's why I'm confused.
Yes.
See, I have to do these earlier in the week. Anyway, I think Waka is the better player here because he's got a 117 whip for the season, and there's no pitching that's, the free agent list is not full of pitching.
My only gripe is you just traded away Cesar Hernandez, who was a guy that you traded for earlier.
Yeah, right. I mean, I can't say anything about that, though, because, I know I kind of do that, too, because there's certain guys that I like, and I'll try to get them back if there's a possibility to get them back. You know what I mean? No? You don't understand? Like Ben Zobrist I have back now, and I traded him away at the end of last year because that was in the,
Yes, but you knew you were going to get Ben Zobrist back because he's old.
No, that's true, because obviously anybody who's old is terrible.
It's also knowing who you trade him to. I know if I trade someone young to Jessen, I might as well, get our hugs and kisses in and goodbye because I'm never going to see him again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right.
Not an exciting trade to talk about.
No, it's not very exciting. Like I said, I think Walker's better off than Cesar Hernandez. I'm not too big on him. I think he had a very hot April, and he's kind of really.
He has. Well, the whole Phillies team is cooled off.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
they've got to figure something out. They're in trouble. I like their roster.
Yeah.
I think they have potential, but I don't know
They're
what's
going in the right direction.
Well, not this year. They're not.
Well,
I mean, they're terrible.
Well, that's the nature of how it's working. Teams just want to lose. They don't care. Okay, ads and drops. Do you have? Do you want to start with those, or I think there's one glaring one.
Yes, I boycotted ads and drops this week.
You boycotted it.
There were and this isn't an actual stat. This is ballparking for people checking statistics.
Yeah.
There were over 25 starting pitchers added this week. I'm not sifting through churning to find an ad or a drop.
Okay.
So I went with the easy choice of Adam Wainwright.
Okay. I didn't have him on his list. What did he do? I don't know.
He pitched on Sunday for me and
Yeah.
got me ERA, whip, and strikeouts and a win.
Oh, okay. I thought
Good pickup, Thee.
I thought the worst drop and the best ad is the same person as Marco Estrada. I don't understand why Team Jobu dropped him. I was actually very angry with myself once I saw Alaska picked him up because I missed Team Jobu dropping him. I'm like, why did that happen?
Why are you upset about Estrada being
Look at his stats. That's all I can tell you.
I don't want to
his
look
stats.
at it. I want you to tell me them. Go.
I can't. I would have to look it up to give exact stats. I can tell you, though, that he had a career-high 12 strikeouts on Sunday, and he's only had 2 bad starts all season. That I can say for sure. I don't know the exact stats, but Estrada was way too good to just be dropped. I mean, he didn't have a great start when Team Jobu dropped, but it wasn't worth dropping, especially in the market of pitching as weak as it is right now. And
He's a free agent pickup in my mind, but I'll have to look at these stats then.
okay, that's fine.
The great stats that you don't even know.
And the other good ad I had was Devin Travis for Ben's Champions. He did after he picked him up, he had a home run and it's like a 3-run shot. I think it was.
At what point, though, can we stop giving him credit for being good at, since it's a given that anybody he picks up is automatically going to hit?
Well, I know, but that's the nature of what we're doing with this, is that we're just trying to say who was the good ad and who was the good drop. I couldn't find any other drops that I thought were glaringly terrible.
Well, I have 2 drops.
Oh, you do?
I have one that I do think is terrible, and I think you're going to agree with it once I give you the name. Adam Ottavino.
Possibly.
Who you traded for. You traded to
He's
get
looking at
this
me.
guy.
I didn't make the trade.
You, if
Yeah.
you're even watching this, because you're not.
He's not.
You're not. We already know you're not. Yeah. You traded for him, and now you dropped him.
Yeah.
I don't understand. You're giving guys away. Except for Michael Conforto. Give him back to me. And this is going to sound like an oxymoron. I have a good drop.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Justice Sheffield was dropped.
That's a good drop, yeah. I agree with that.
That's a good drop, right?
Yeah.
He's on your farm team. You don't have to put him on your roster. He's in the minors. Stop wasting roster room. Jesse Winker, you own him. Drop him. I
think he dropped Blake Snell too, which was a pretty good drop considering it's just a wasted roster spot when he's
Well, I mean, if you want to own Blake Snell, though, you can't add him to your farm list. He's got to be on your roster.
Right.
So, I mean, I was okay with that one.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Justice Sheffield and Jesse Winker are on your roster.
Man.
You're playing with 26 guys.
Right.
And then Blake Snell, you played me with 25. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, needed the help.
I mean...
All right, well, I think that is the end of this portion. I guess we're going to have to get into the power rankings. Which,
Well, hot topic?
I don't know. Is there a hot topic? I don't have one. Do you have one?
Just, it was basketball related, but I don't think that that's worth the baseball opinion.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares.
This guy thinks LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan.
That's not what I said.
No, it is. It is.
No, that's not.
You
That's
pretty
not what I
much-
said.
Yes. Okay. Well, then the other thing he absolutely said is that Kevin Durant is already
A top 25 player of all
time. He just said all time.
He is.
Are
He
you
is.
kidding me?
It is. It's not negotiable.
Power rankings.
Okay, now before we get into the power rankings, we have a correction.
Shocker.
Yeah, he points at me, but he could have helped.
You're the host. I'm just a guest.
I actually, for whatever reason, thought that Globo Jim had the 9-7 win over Team Joe Boo. That is incorrect. It was the other way around.
It's very incorrect.
Team Joe Boo had the 9-7 win over Globo Jim. So we have corrected that.
I would also like to apologize to the viewers. I will try to do a better job of calling him out when I know he's wrong, instead of just letting him say things that are wrong.
See, that's easy for you to say after the fact. I feel like if you knew it was wrong, you would have said right away.
As soon as you turned it off, what was the first thing I said?
You said, "Are you sure about the 9-7 win?" And I said, "No." I was trying to do it quick. I don't know.
So he's not giving you, the viewer,
Yeah.
the due diligence you deserve. And I
Yeah.
apologize for that, because
Right.
he did say today that he did not spend the time that he normally does on this.
And
this is the kind of show you're getting. This is exactly what you're getting.
I will send a
This is why you
handwritten
don't-
apology to both of you that are watching this.
I was going to say, you just cut our viewers in half from 2 to 1.
Anyway.
They're offended. Power rankings?
Power rankings.
And this is also a sad moment, because someone's going to make my power rankings for the first time, and because they don't watch the videos,
Yeah.
he's not going to be happy.
Yeah.
I have making my power rankings as
Oh my goodness, Team Zips.
the Zippers.
The Zips. And you know what's funny? He made mine for the first time as well. Yeah. I mean,
He has guys that are hitting 300.
yeah,
he's got
trending upward.
He's got a great Michael Conforto, who nobody else likes except for people with the last name of Meckley, and
Yeah. He's going off.
I will say he's got. Again, let's go back to what are you doing? He had McCullers. He has McCullers. He has Grinke. He has who's the third name? McCullers, Grinke, Archer, who's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Now just think if he'd still have Michael Fulmer with that group.
Yeah, I guess.
That's dominant. That's a dominant
dominant.
four, and they're young, except for Grinke. But they're dominant.
Yeah, some of those guys are young and inconsistent. McCullers is not as good as you think he is. We've talked about
I know. He uses split stats from this year.
split stats. He's not that great. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's not that great. There's a difference.
Okay. But if that's your fourth, okay, so let's say he's your number 4. Mm-hmm. I'd take that.
Yeah. Yeah. As a number 4 star, yeah. That's good. And a fantasy staff, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My number 5, and I am drinking the haterade because I hate this team.
Yeah.
And their strategy.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Ben's champions. You're back in the top 6.
Yeah.
Offensively, when his guys hit and he puts the right guys in the lineup, his offense is second to Team Jobu, in my opinion.
Yep, and that is where I have him as well. It's funny because there's definitely separation between the top 4 and everybody else.
I know we said that last week, but
it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, doesn't it? Kind of.
Sort of, it's starting to.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised though. You know, this is a good thing. We had a lot of matchups last week where it was some of the top 4 against the bottom 4, and there weren't blowouts.
No,
I mean,
weren't.
10-5, 9-6s. Those aren't really blowouts.
No, those aren't.
So I mean, it's sort of competitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of like when you're watching the basketball, keeping that theme, you know who's going to win. It's just the games are going to be a little closer than what you think.
Yep.
All right, so my top 4 have a shakeup. Now that,
Mine's different too.
well, it should be now because you had a guy ranked higher than what he was because you thought he won. But I kept my power rankings now because I knew who actually won the Jobu and Globo Gym. And
Globo Gym.
he did text this, yes, that he was excited to see how far he dropped.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I missed that.
You went from 1 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
You
Wow.
played somebody in our Power 4, and you lost.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want me to do? Am I going to be like you and keep him at the top? Oh, it was a close matchup, and you had to use 13 starting pitchers to score 7 points and win some pitching categories.
Mm-hmm.
Not a balanced team. Looking for balance. Globo Gym, number 4, still part of that top 4 group that we have. How about the 4 Horsemen for you wrestling buffs out there? Part of the 4 Horsemen.
Yeah.
You're number 4.
My number 4. I am maintaining me at number 4. I continue.
Is that a factual statement? Did you have yourself at number 4 last week?
Yeah, didn't I? I think. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, it was 4 last week.
We have a fact check that it is accurate for once.
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Why? Why number 4?
Because
So that means you still have Globo Gym ahead of you.
I do.
Now, you're playing him this week.
I am.
Will that change your opinion based on the matchup?
Possibly. I mean, here's the thing with my team. I continue to win every week, but I'm getting very fortunate that the other team is just not performing. Like, you can't deny it. You know, I mean, you look at it just like we talked about. Pine Tree hit 224 against me. That's the reason why I won 10-6. If he has a normal offensive week, it could have went either way.
So is it fair to say then we shouldn't have to listen to your winning streak blab every week then, since you yourself said it's not really significant since you're so lucky?
Yes, but it's still
So then you will
still
call
a winning
it-
streak.
So can you call it your lucky winning streak from
And-
now on?
and-
I
wait,
make
no,
a
wait, wait.
request for the viewers that you call it a lucky winning streak since you yourself
First of all,
said
I would call it
you've been very lucky.
a fortunate winning streak, and that's not going to go away. Even when I lose, I will still mention who has the longest winning streak and who has the longest losing streak when Andy wins or Murderers Row wins. Okay? So I mean that those aren't going away. That's just who
Oh, I
has those right now.
I thought those were just fun facts because
No.
you were the first one.
Nothing to do with it. It's me. It's going to be whoever it is. So there you go. Which would probably be I think next in line would probably be Team Jobu. It's probably the second hottest. I think. Again, I don't have any proof of that.
When do you ever? When does he ever? My number 3, Team Jobu.
Yeah.
For simple facts, these two teams played each other. This team won.
Right.
Therefore, they should be higher than them in the rankings. I'm going to use common sense.
Okay.
Team Jobu,
All right.
number 3.
All right.
I still like his roster. I still think I know he's the
He knows.
defending champ. I know he's the defending champ. That's a fact.
It's a fact.
I still think he has one of the most deadliest lineups in the league.
Deadly.
He still needs pitching.
Yes.
Still need pitching.
And see, that is why, yes, I know that he does have the win over Globo, but I still have him at number 3 because just like you said, I just don't like his pitching enough to put him higher than that.
Interesting. So this reminds me of, since I like to tie things in that we always talk about. So you have Globo Gym ahead of Team Jobu, obviously,
Yes.
even though Team Jobu beat them.
Yes.
Yet when we were talking about the playoff rankings, you thought it was ridiculous that Penn State fans said they should be in over Ohio State because they were using the fact that they beat Ohio State to be ahead of them. Now you're doing the exact opposite. You realize that, right?
It's not the same thing.
Yes, it is.
No.
How isn't it?
It's not.
How isn't it? They're both
not.
ranked, but they're both rankings.
Because one team lost to somebody else 78-0. That's the
False. False. I call false.
Yes, that's false. But you know what I'm saying. That's Team Jobu has not been blown out. Wait a minute. Or is it Globo? Whoever has not been blown out by someone all year long. That's the difference.
Correct. They've
You
only
have to
played
take
one.
a cumulative thing.
But they've only played one good team.
Okay, if next week Murderers Row beats you, or let's do it this way. If last week, let's say that score's flipped, Murderers Row beats Team D 10-5.
I would have dropped Team D in the standings.
Okay, you would have dropped a little bit in the standings, but do I put Murderers Row at number 1 because suddenly he has beat Team
No.
D, who was the best team?
No.
See what you just said?
No.
That's why Penn State had no business being up there. Doesn't matter. You're still. It's a cumulative
Hater. He's a
thing.
hater. Penn State hater.
You probably hate Penn State more than I do. That's the funny part about it. All right. So
Number
did you
2.
do number 2.
Dropping
Go
a
ahead.
deuce. Team D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just balanced. That's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say when I talk about this team. Balanced.
I'm so balanced.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. All across the board. Hitting,
Yeah.
pitching, GMing. It's balanced.
Yeah. Okay. I actually have for my number 2
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
dropping.
Wait a
for
minute.
Number 1. What?
Hold on. I got to hold on for the earthquake or the tremor or something that's going to happen that Globo Gym is not number 1.
Globo Gym has dropped
Oh
from
my God.
1 to number 2 because he lost to a team that was injury riddled. Per Team Joe.
So he didn't lose to... So hold on. So that's worse.
Why is it worse?
So now you're not using the excuse that he lost to a good team. You're saying he
Wow.
lost to an injury-riddled team. That's
He
worse
lost to
than
a
using-
good team that was still injury riddled.
That makes it even worse.
Hey, I dropped him. I put him from 1 to 2. I don't know what else. I'm not going to drop him farther than that because, like I said, it's a cumulative thing. I still think Lobo's Gym's pitching staff
Okay, so-
is better than Team Joe
I'll give you
Boo.
that.
You know what I mean?
Okay, how about...
So that's why I have
that's
him at
fine.
number 2.
How about body of work? Would you take the quality wins that Globo Gym has, which, by the way, are not against anyone in the top 4 right now?
He still hasn't played you yet, right?
Correct.
That's next week.
Correct.
Yep. So, hey. Well,
So returning to my number 1,
Yep.
is this guy, and it's not because we're doing the video.
Mm-hmm.
You keep, very simple, you keep winning 9-5, 10-5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you drop somebody like that? Interesting, you do get Globo Gym this week,
Yeah.
so that's a big matchup that I do have my eyes on. You and I have already played, so we know how that went.
Yeah.
Sensitalia. And, you know, it's just like to rub that in, Sensitalia.
Again, like I said, I just I'm not having great weeks. It just seems like whoever's playing me is having a bad week.
Correct, and I've heard another team who just made my Power 6 say that every time he plays someone, the team does the exact opposite. They have a great week against him, and that's why he always loses.
Who said that?
It would be Zips. He says, you go look at his matchups every week, the guy that he plays always hits above 300, always has a ERA of like 3 point something or 2 point something.
Well, I can tell you for sure that's not true because when I beat him, do you think my team hit over 300?
Well, no, that's impossible.
Exactly.
You don't have any 300 hitters on your team.
Right. So my number 1 is in fact the most balanced team, because I do agree it is the most balanced, it is the most consistent.
It is the best GM team at the moment.
I guess.
No,
I mean,
no, that's a false statement.
well, I mean, you don't really do anything.
Correct. So
You know what I mean?
there's no GMing. Correct.
Yeah.
But don't worry, bench champions. That's a strategy I chose to not have to do.
No,
anything.
I know. I mean, I'm very similar to that. I don't do that much.
You
I mean,
platoon.
Well, yeah, I make my lineup every day.
You're platooning.
But
Yes, me making my lineup consists of which two guys am I playing in my util spots today.
yeah, that's kind of.
That's me setting my lineup.
Well, then, okay, then let me ask you this question: do you think you're deep enough to handle injuries?
Well, no, I never am.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking because that's like if Altuve goes down for the year tomorrow, does what are you? Well, I guess
Well,
you said
no.
Daniel Murphy, but
Well, but see, that's where the problem is because it's a great question. You just asked that because I just lost Freddie Freeman.
yeah, that's true.
So that's a big loss for me. But as you just mentioned, I moved Daniel Murphy to first. Now, if you say someone like Altuve goes down, what do I do? Because I've got Murphy that can play second, but now I'm back to that. I really don't want to play Hanley Ramirez or Ryan Healy, who, by the way,
Not bad.
is hot right now.
Yeah. Not
Thank you, Alaska Glaciers. Thank you, Pine Tree Lane, for not wanting him because of
Yeah.
his strikeout percentage, by the way. That was the statistic I was given for why they don't want him anymore. That's what he does. He strikes out.
It's not a negative stat.
Not in
It's
today's
not.
game.
It's not.
No.
It's so much more important that your on base percentage than your actual strikeout percentage. You know what I mean?
There are certain people in the league. Hey, everybody likes their own stats. That's what makes the league great. Everybody has their own strategy.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got you.
What make the league great. It's not the people.
Not-
It has nothing to do with the people.
The people are all jerks. It has
Well,
nothing to do
doesn't-
with the people.
Well, it has nothing to do with the people. I don't know why I keep hearing this argument about, the people make this league so great. No, you don't. When you go to describe someone in the league you're in,
Yeah.
do you describe the setup of the league or you describe the setup or the characters in the league?
Well, it's hard for me to think about that because there's two.
Yes, I would agree. No argument there. No argument
I'm
there.
only in two different leagues. That's it. I'm only doing two leagues.
Right. Well, I'm not asking you to compare leagues. I'm saying when someone says, do you play fantasy baseball?
Yeah.
And you say, for example, oh, I'm in this league, we call it the franchise league.
Right.
Is the first thing you describe how it's set up,
No.
or do you describe the kinds of great people that are in this league you play with?
Yeah, I would say that this is a franchise league that has existed since 2004,
Right.
and you keep your entire team from year to year. No, I wouldn't say that, that we have one person in the league named Charlie Warner who is super dreamy. No, I do not say that, So,
Right.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, you wouldn't talk about. But, I mean, I see both sides of the argument. I mean, there's a lot of camaraderie that has happened,
Well, that's what
over the course of
helps.
that.
I mean, that's what helps.
Right. So,
It does give it its history.
yeah.
There is a lot of history. That's
Yeah,
all it's
because honestly, that's what spurs on because you want to beat these other people because, you've been in a text thread for the last 4 years where everybody tells you that you effing suck every day. So, yeah, do I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder? Yes, I do. Okay, that's all. That's all I had to say. I'm done.
The only thing I'm going to rebuttal with that is, yes, it is great to know all the people in the league, but if the people in your league are not competitive, is it really that fun?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I do think that there's teams at the bottom that aren't that terrible.
They're not terrible, but they're not trying to get better.
Yeah.
They're complacent.
Yeah, that's true. I will say that, but because the talent level that is on, I mean, you can definitely
Well, this
make a push.
this league is so shallow. There's tons of talent everywhere.
Well, no, it's just especially the way the standings are constructed, because basically there's only 4 teams. There's only 4 teams that are over 500, so everybody else has a shot at 5 and 6.
How are the standings constructed?
Like I just said, I don't think that that's a poorly worded statement.
Okay, that's a funny one.
No, because
The way the standings are constructed, they're constructed 1 through
if
10.
8 out of the 10 teams were over 500, then
Yeah.
Team 9 and Team 10 would be pretty much screwed, wouldn't they? That's what I'm saying. 1 through
He's not
4,
really drawing anything on a paper. He's
I'm
just
drawing
pointing.
it on a paper.
He's just pointing.
Whatever.
Good stuff.
Yeah, whatever.
Power ranking.
Oh yeah, now you do it. I see. That's great.